Hi guys, long time no see. I know. So today I want to make video on some of the questions I've gotten in the past about living in Malta, the cost of living and some other things. So stay tuned, let's talk about it, okay? First thing I'm going to talk about is the cost of living in Malta. People have been asking me, how much can I make to be okay in Malta? Like, how much do I have to have at hand to be able to live through a month in Malta as a student or otherwise, So in Malta, the cost of living is fair compared to some other European countries, right? When it comes to what you have to spend in a month, so because in Europe you pay for apartment monthly and stuff, so you have to put that into account. So for in a month, depending on the apartment you want to get, right? But I'm going to use the bare minimum, right? The bare minimum that can sustain you, that you can survive with. So in a month you can rent an apartment, like a room in a shared apartment, that you might be paying 450. I'm using like the bare minimum. I know you can find 400 or 350, but let me come a little more comfortable, because the 350 you might not like it at all, or the location might be too far from what you want to do. So I'm going to be using 400, 450. So let's use 450. So you have 450 to spend to pay for your rent in Malta. Then the other thing you will also talk about is transportation. But luckily for you, transportation is free. So that one aside, unless you want to use Uber or you want to use ferry. So if you want to use those ones, then you have to pay. But if it's normal public transport, you're covered, right? Then the other thing is now your feeding. Because the 450 apartments included, it will be your bills, your utility bills will be included in it, okay? So your feeding depending, you can spend about okay, like someone like me, I can spend about, let's say, 200 euros in a month or less, it depending on the shopping I do that month on the stuff. But actually I think you can survive with 100 euros in a month in Malta via feeding, depending on what you have already. Let's say you're coming from Nigeria, you should come with some food stuff. Let's say you came with stockfish and stuff, egusi, stuff you use to make your soup, just those basic stuff that you should have at home. So once you have those stuff, the only thing you will need to buy in a month would be like meat, vegetables, stuff like that wouldn't cost you much. So you can actually live with comfortably. I mean, not too comfortably, but you can actually like 100 euros can sustain you in a month, actually. Yeah. Because meat now in Malta, let's say you want to buy beef, for one kg it should be like 7 euros. Yeah, it should be like 7 euros, and that's 1 kg, and it's actually quite handful. But chicken is very cheap. So if you're a fan of chicken, very well, you can use chicken to be cooking all the time. You can get chicken for maybe chicken breast for depending on what you're cooking. But you can get chicken if you go to Lidl, for instance, big supermarkets. You can get chicken for like 3 euros or like 4 euros, something that would serve you well, So that's actually, you wouldn't spend much. Then vegetables as well, because in Malta you just check for supermarkets that sell at cheaper rate, like Lidl, for instance. There are some other ones that you go to, you wouldn't spend much to get quite something substantial, Then you might also want to know the cost of things that you want to buy, because even if you come from Nigeria or from Africa or any place, you came with your food stuff, definitely they will have to finish unless you travel quite often. And when they finish, how do you restock, or like what's the cost? I mean, it's not so expensive, but you shouldn't expect it to be like when you convert it, you shouldn't expect it to be the rate you bought it like in your home country. Just know that like African food, for instance, would be more expensive than the Maltese food or Italian food that they have here already, right? Because I mean, it will come from Africa, so it will be more expensive here. Okay, but it's not too alarming. It's actually quite alarming, and you might not like it, because the red oil, I always have problem with it because it feels like plastic for me. I don't even know. And the stock fish, and I prefer the one I bring myself, But you have places like Malta. You have there are African stores where you can buy anything you want. Actually, anything you want. If you want a egusi, obono, stockfish, dry fish, stuff like that, you can find them. I mean, the rate they sell it here. There's a place where you can find most Nigerians in Malta. It's called Bujiba. I mean, I've only been there like twice or 3 times, so I don't know if they sell like some fresh vegetables and stuff. But the side I stay is mostly dry vegetables, like Nigerian ugu and stuff that I find there. So it depends on the area that you are staying. So let me talk about accommodation in greater detail here. I mean, I've spoken about it in my other videos, but getting apartment in Malta, it depends. Let's say you are coming as a student, you have some options. You can decide to stay in the school hostels. Like University of Malta, for instance, they pay about 6,000 something euros for their session. That is not even exactly up to 1 year. So I mean, the apartment, I've gone there, the hostel is very fine and nice, but I think it's quite expensive. So if you can afford it, or if you buy and you will share, So I would actually prefer renting. Like if I was coming as a student, I prefer to rent outside. So renting outside, if you decide to stay in the school hostel, you pay before coming. You pay through the school. But let's say you are coming as a student, you want to stay outside of campus, or you are coming as a digital nomad or as a worker. I mean, you have to find your own apartment. So the best place to find the apartment is Facebook Marketplace. Actually, there is no like much dedicated sites that you would go to find your apartment in Malta. So you have to go through the Facebook Marketplace. There are groups there that you join. You see where they're posting. I mean, they still have some sites, some company sites that you can check. But when you still go to Facebook, you would see it eventually. So why not just go there directly, right? I mean, I will put the links to some of the groups in the video description, but there are a lot of them you get. But one thing I usually warn people, especially digital nomads, don't pay anybody for 1 year apartment before coming to Malta. You might come, it might be scam. They scam people actually. And also you might come and you not like the place, you might not like the area. So like for digital nomads, they can give you one opportunity to just find a 1 month temporary accommodation. When you now come to Malta, you find your 1 year lease, which I think is better, instead of just subscribing to something you don't even know if you would like. So just go to booking.com. If you just want to come, if you're coming, you can go to booking.com or even Facebook Marketplace. Just book 1 year, or Airbnb, just book 1 month temporary accommodation. Or if you have someone you will stay with, just book it and come to Malta. Then go to Facebook Marketplace, find the apartment you like, go and see it with your eyes, confirm that it's real, confirm that the company is legit or the agency is legit before paying, or before engaging, like paying, giving them any dime. And when it comes to the apartments, like I already said, you have depending on the quality of the apartment you're looking for. But just believe me, apartments in Malta, I think they are a little more spacious than what you will see in the UK. Like, if you're looking for shared accommodation, let's say you're on budget, obviously you should go for shared accommodation. If you're coming with friends, it will even be better. You guys will rent like 3-bedroom flats and stay there. And in Malta, 3-bedroom flats, assuming you want to stay in an area that is not so high end, but that is also not too, far and stuff, or far from where things are happening. Malta is already small, so everywhere is close by, but still, I mean, some places are popping more than others. So if you want to get a place that is kind of quiet but not too quiet, I'm gonna use that to give the instance here. So if you are looking for such a place, 3-bedroom apartments will cost you like 1,000 to 1,002. No, I will bring it down to like 800 to 1,002. We'll give you 3-bedroom apartments. And the three bedroom now, if you guys are 3, let's say 800 or let's say 900. When you now divide it by 3, you guys are paying 300 monthly, which is very okay. And most of them might not come with bills inclusive, so your bills might be coming to about 100 to 150 euros per month, which is still fine. So that's why shared accommodation is usually fine. And most of the 3 bedrooms, because they are cheap like this, like 900, you might have just 1 bathroom inside. So just know that you will have to share the bathroom, then you will share the kitchen and the common area, the living room. So, but you have your own rooms, okay? For most of them. Some of them you will have more than 1 bathroom. Okay, there are also other shared accommodation. Let's say you are coming as a single person, you're not coming with any friend, but you want to rent in a shared accommodation. You can still find there are a lot, so you will find you wouldn't know the people there. You'll just come and rent your own room in a shared apartment. You get, once you rent your own room, it might be 350, it might be 400, it might be 450, but you shouldn't chase about 500 and stuff unless it's a poppy area, so poppy. It should be below that 450 for the shared accommodation, because you are sharing everything, both the bathroom. You just have your room to yourself, but you can find some. If once you're coming and you are on a budget, you just want to start your life gradually, that's your best shot. You just go there and have your peace, because anything you are making in a month will definitely cover it. Okay, in Malta, it will definitely cover it. There's another one. That one is now hostel. That one pisses me off, because I know in Nigeria we don't live like that at all. So it pisses me off, whereby like 1 room, there will be multiple beds in it. You just come and rent 1 bed there. I don't know how much it is, but as you are seeing now, you should do the math. It should be around maybe 200 or so. You can also do that, but you just come pay for bed. It's called bed space. You're just paying for bed space, But you should know how the quality would be, right? So that's it. But then when it now comes to studio apartments, so studio apartment, it's about studio apartments or 1-bedroom apartment is about 900 euros, 800 euros, or 750, around that. Is actually usually expensive. So that's why some people, instead of going for studio or going for 1-bedroom apartment, they usually go for 2 bedrooms, because when you calculate the amount, it's still the same thing. So why not go for 2 bedrooms? Because 1-bedroom apartment is usually expensive in Malta or many places actually. So how do you go about the transportation in Malta? Well, like I already said, transportation is free in Malta, but as you're coming to Malta, let's say you're coming to Malta as a tourist, you might have to be paying for bus pass, like for transportation, because you might not have to wait for your car to come unless you order for it before you start coming to Malta. But as someone that is coming to stay, once you arrive Malta, you just apply for the Talinia card. That's the bus pass. So once you apply, if you're a student, there is students own that is less, around maybe 8 euros or so. I don't know, I didn't go for that one, so I don't know. But as someone that is working, or as a digital nomad, you are going for the one that is about 16 euros. So you just apply online. They will deliver it to your address, to your house. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to deliver the card, and once they deliver the card, that's just the pass you use for your transportation in Malta. Like, you enter the bus, you just tap it and go to your seat, so it's now free for life. However, I recently found out that the bus in Malta, if it's at night, late at night, the night buses, they target, the name is usually N something, like night, N for night. So if it's those night buses, you will still use the same card to tap. But any day you go to check how much you've spent in that your card, you will see that maybe you have like 4 or 3 or 2 euros that you are owing because you entered night. So night buses are not free. You get, like, very late at night, not free. And also, if you're going to the airport, the buses are X something. So buses to and fro airports are not free. You can still use a bus and pay, but you will know that you are owing there. I think I'm owing, actually, because I've used them, but I didn't check. I mean, nobody is coming to arrest you or check are you owing the Tarina card. You just still keep tapping. Okay, just so you know that part. And one thing you should also know, in as much as the buses, the transport is free and stuff, sometimes it can be very annoying. I won't lie for you. The buses in Malta, they are not timely. You can't depend on them. The Google map might tell you that your bus is coming 12. If you go there at 12, sometimes you will not see any bus. The bus might have left like 15 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago, or you might have to wait 10 minutes before the bus comes. So they're not reliable. If you're going for some appointment, you might have to use alternative mode of transportation, like maybe use cab and stuff, Then there are also scooters that you can use, but just know that there is no dedicated route for scooters, so you still have to use the major road. So you have to know how to ride the scooter well to be able to do it. I mean, it's easy, but yeah, some people can use that, but it's not when you address corporate you can be using scooter, but there is also ferry that you can use depending on where you are going. You can use ferry. I mean, that one is like €1. €1, yeah. You go where you're going. So anyone you want, because there is traffic in Malta. So I think that's why the buses delay sometimes and stuff. I think so. There's traffic. I mean, you can't compare it to Lagos traffic and stuff, but there's traffic in Malta. Okay. Some people also want to know like how safe is Malta or high vibrant, well, Malta, as far as I'm concerned, is actually very safe compared to many other countries, even in Europe, or can't even compare to Nigeria. It's very safe because even me now, as a lady, I can walk alone anytime in Malta. I usually work late at night, so sometimes when I finish work around 1 a.m., I'll just shower and stuff and step out alone. You'll still see people, and it's just, there will be no cause for you to even feel scared, So I usually feel safe in Malta no matter the time. Even though, yeah, Malta is safe. But no matter the country you go to, there are certain areas where people will tell you avoid at such hours, at this hours, Yeah, there are some places that people usually say you should avoid. Like in Malta, they will say avoid Massa at odd hours. I mean, I don't live very close to those areas, so I don't usually have any cause to feel unsafe when I'm walking around my own area, right? But just know that. Then there might be other areas, but I don't know. But it's only Massa that I've heard of usually. But also know that like places like St. Julian's is always poppy at night, because that's the club zone. That's the place, like they have all the clubs in Malta, and like it's there, they're all based. So you might see a lot of drunk people around and stuff. I mean, and that brings me to the vibrancy. Yeah, Malta is actually very vibrant. I mean, I've been to some other European countries, even including UK. I can't even compare UK to Malta when it comes to having fun. Yeah, that would be surprising, but it's actually true. Even in London, for instance, when I was in London during Christmas, I mean, it was popping. People will see people everywhere. But when it gets to 12, 1, you will not see anybody again. You, like the New Year, the New Year night, that's 31st night, New Year Eve, I went to a church in London. Then after that, I wanted to go home. I got lost. Not that I really got lost, but like the bus was not coming. The bus I waited for didn't come, so I had to say, let me use another route. Like everywhere was too quiet, and geez, that was my first time of feeling kind of weird, you know. So no, like since I've been in the UK for a while, I've been so bored. I won't lie for you. I've been so bored, and it vexes me a lot, because in Malta is not like that. Malta, like every Friday, you just go out. Even if you don't want to go out per se, just take a walk. And when you're taking a walk, you are either walking by the water side, or you are just seeing people, even drunk ones, fine. But you are seeing people like having fun, doing stuff. The restaurants, the pubs, everywhere is open. By that time, by 12, by 1, everyone is still outside, and no matter like Slimmer, my house is close, is around Slimmer, so I usually walk around there. It's always popping anytime, so I love such places. But in the UK, around 9 in the winter, around 9 everywhere, you're not seeing people again. It's already closing down. I don't like such. I don't like places that are too boring. So Malta is like one of the places I wanna like be visiting every year, because it's it will keep you out of depression. It will keep you out of abroad depression. I'm not gonna lie for you. And I think mostly because of the weather, because like UK weather is always depressing because of the cold. So it will make people to just what the heck, stay at home, But in Malta, like the clubs, there's this club in Malta, Club 77. So that's like they usually play Afro, They usually play Afro on Fridays. So when you go there, you'll be happy. And aside that, the older places, because the reason why I like it is when you go there, when you go to Pashville, that's what they call it, is in St. Julian's. So that's where the clubs are located. When you go there, so since all the clubs in Malta, they are situated there, you can jump from one club to the other, from one together. Like people, anytime you go there, you think it's a crusade ground, because people always flowing in and out. Like you go here, you see they'll play, and they play Afro. So I love it, I love it, because when I came to the UK and I said, let's go to the club, this one, I just didn't feel it like I felt the way I felt in the Malta own. I mean, maybe I'm still biased, or maybe I've not gone to a lot of places that I would see, or maybe it's only in the summer that is really fun here. But really, yeah, but Malta, it doesn't matter. Even in the winter, peak of winter, if you see what people will wear, you say, are these people not cold? I like it when people are excited. They don't allow the weather to depress them, So Malta is that kind of place. I remember when I just came to Malta, when I was new in Malta, and I wanted to order something from Bolt Food, and I checked, like nothing. I wanted to order an African food in Nigeria, just Nigerian jollof rice, but I couldn't find any African restaurant, in Nigerian restaurant precisely, in Bolt Food. That was really, really, really disappointing for me, because it made me all the time I'll be eating only Burger King, stuff like that. But now, yeah, you can, when you go to Bolt Food, and stuff. You can see some Nigerian restaurants where you can order your jollof rice and stuff. So it's actually exciting. Like, they are opening up now, they are developing more. And I think because a lot of Nigerians are now coming to Malta, people do ask me, like, how easy is it to get a job in Malta? And so here's the thing. So it depends, because a lot of people have reached out and they will ask me, like, is it I should help them get a job from Nigeria in Malta. So because I'm not an agent and I'm not really into the Malta system, the job and stuff, I wouldn't be able to help, because I don't know how it works. You should also be careful. A lot of people will promise you that they will get you a job from Malta when you are still in Nigeria, but they will just want to scam you. Okay, so also be careful, because the one I know is, if you want to get a job in Malta, for instance, you are already there present, right? Like how my friend got his. It will just let's say you want to do security job, you go to the office, you apply, you get it. So once you get it, don't worry, they would apply for your work permit. It's always that easy. Like, it's not as hectic and as crazy as it is for people in the UK that are looking for sponsorship job. No, it's that easy in Malta. You just go, okay, you want to do security. Once you get it, they will apply for your work permit. The work permit, it usually take time, but once it's already in the process, you are covered. You can start working. Okay, but it takes time to come out, but you'll be covered. It's quite easy, because it's a matter of you maybe going. Sometimes it's also a matter of knowing somebody, because he knew somebody, someone helped him to get into the door of the security people. But you don't necessarily have to. You just need to be wise enough to maybe be checking. Sometimes you can even check online. There are jobs, so because it's not only unskilled jobs that you can do in Malta. They have job sites. You can just come to Google and check jobs in Malta. You can be specific. IT jobs in Malta. You can go to LinkedIn and search, mostly into IT. So you can set it for maybe front-end engineer jobs in Malta. You would see, I mean, it wouldn't be as plenty as you would see in some other bigger countries. You get larger countries, but yeah, you check. So you might easily get unskilled work first before skilled. So I mean, anyone you get, you keep doing it. I know people that started from unskilled, but now that they've gotten their professional jobs in Malta. Okay, you just need to start from somewhere, but just know that even those unskilled ones can still get you work permit. Okay, they can still get you work permit where you just start working. Oh, finally the sun. I've been waiting for this. That's why I came outside, actually. And once you get anyone, your employer will just apply for your work permit for you. That's all. You start working. Even as a cleaner, they will apply for work permit for you. In as much as there are now some news going on that they want to stop like cleaners from getting work permits. I don't know like how serious it is, okay, but there are many jobs you can apply and you get work permit through it in Malta. Just know that. So, and it's easy, because people also ask how easy it is to get a part-time job to sustain me while I'm studying in Malta. You can get a part-time job in Malta. You can get maybe a restaurant assistant, a cleaner, customer service, call center, you know, stuff like that. You just need to like search on Google for like ones like call center, but ones like cleaning. You might also check out the restaurants to know if they're hiring or if they're looking for, you know, part-time workers. For those and for those work, the unskilled work, because Malta minimum wage is so low, for those work they might be paying you 6 or 7 euros per hour. Actually, they might be paying you 7 euros per hour, you know, so you have to like manage it. But when you work 6 to 7, let's say 7 euros per hour, and you're working 20 hours per week as a student, you're working 20 hours per week, and that's like, I don't know, math. So that's 80 hours per month, right? So that's 80 hours per month. So 80 times the 7 euros or 6 euros, you know how much it is, and know like how it can sustain you in a month, you know. Yeah, it can sustain you, right? It can sustain you. But for people that will now be asking, can it pay your school fees? So that's where I don't think so, you know. I don't think so. So just make sure, if you don't have a lot of money to pay your school fees, so you can go for courses that pay lesser, so you can pay your school fees. And so when you are doing the part-time, it's just to sustain you monthly and maybe give you a little money that you can use for savings or investment that month. Okay guys, I believe I've exhausted the questions I wrote down. But if I didn't answer any question that you put down or you asked me, you can put it down in the comment section again, so I will do the part 2. Okay, but these are the ones that came more often, so I didn't forget them. Okay, so if there are any other ones you want me to address, just put it down, I would address them. All right, don't forget to also ask me any other question you might have. Okay, and see you soon in my next one. Bye bye.